We've got a lot of storm systems that have been impacting the west, and that continues with heavy rain and mountain snow. But eventually, as we head into next week, we're also going to watch some systems heading eastward with the potential for not only rain and severe weather, but also some flooding that could cause big concerns. In this video, we'll take a look at that rainfall and mountain snowfall in the west. We'll take a look at the potential for severe weather as we go into next week, and we'll see who could still get some snowfall and cooler shots of air as we go through March. All that right here. We're using weather bell maps in this video to get the best information possible. If you want those, get a free trial link in the description. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to help me get to my next goal of 4,000 subscribers. Let's get right into it. Alright, taking a look at that water vapor satellite imagery here. As I film this on your Friday evening, you can see we've got a low pressure system that's system number 1 that we're tracking as of right now over parts of the Midwest. You can see that swirl into parts of Illinois this evening. That's bringing some moisture and some pretty heavy rainfall there, a cold rainfall at that, through parts of the southeast and mid-Atlantic region. Meanwhile, over there in the west, we've got this relentless train of some moisture, and especially a lot of that is actually falling as snowfall as we've got cooler than average air out there. And of course, we're still watching fires there in North Texas as well, and it looks like we will see critical conditions for those over the next couple of days. But looking at our future radar here, you can see as we go into parts of the southeastern United States through our early Saturday morning, some rainfall there. Also watching that snow back into the mountain west, and we'll talk more about that snow in a minute. I just want to kind of overview how much rain we're getting over the next, say, 12 to 24 hours here over a lot of the east. Now, this graphic goes all the way through Sunday evening, but most of Sunday is going to be dry. You can see here through parts of the Carolinas, the mid-Atlantic, additional totals could exceed half an inch to an inch there. Through parts of Virginia, into parts of Maryland, really looking into the South Jersey Shore and southern New England. That's where some of these heavier totals are going to be, about 1 to 2 inches. Some spots at the very high end might get close to 2.5 inches. I'm not really anticipating flooding out of that, though. And you can see that's already beginning to depart on out of the East Coast as we go late Saturday and into our early Sunday morning, excluding some areas of southern New England, as well as back on down there into South Georgia and parts of Florida. Meanwhile, through parts of the west, you can see snow really filling on in and continuing there over a lot of the Sierra Nevada range, over parts of the Four Corners region as well, especially those higher elevations of Utah, as well as parts of northwestern Colorado Saturday and into our Sunday. One of those low pressure systems that gets going there in the Mountain West actually briefly ejects on up there into the parts of the north central plains into early next week. Could that bring a little bit of a shower and storm threat there to parts of Wisconsin and the upper peninsula of Michigan late Sunday into early Monday? Sure. Maybe a sliver of snow there into parts of Montana and North Dakota as well. But really, this is just setting the stage for some of this moisture that's out west and continues to pump into the west even as we go Monday into Tuesday, with, as you can see, continuing with some snow there into parts of California and Oregon's mountains. Look at how we also see cold fronts trying to go east from there. And that's really going to start an active weather pattern across the country. But let's talk about what's going on out west. I mean, here's your latest weather alerts as of our Friday evening here. Those reds into parts of Nevada and California and the high elevations, those are blizzard warnings. Anything in those tannish shades, we're talking wind advisories and in some cases high wind warnings. Weather.gov is where you can see your latest alerts. But by the way, pinks and purples are those winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories. The very bright pinks there over parts of the high plains are where we're actually talking about critical fire weather conditions developing the next couple of days. But I mean, looking at the GFS model, I mean, you can just see the snow continuing, especially as we go through our Saturday, very heavy there into parts of the Sierra Nevada range, and then even into early next week, another little shot Monday and into Tuesday, looking to move through parts of California, Nevada, Oregon, Idaho, and Utah. But really, most high elevations of the west will not be spared by this event, and it kind of taking a little bit of a slower look at the timing here out of the European model. Again, early in the morning on your Saturday, you're waking up there, pretty much impossible travel, very high wind, very heavy snow up there in the high elevations of California. Even there into some of the coastal ranges there of California and Oregon, the snow will be heavy. This is as we go Sunday early morning, watching parts of central Nevada all the way on over there to parts of western Colorado for some pockets of heavier snowfall. Also notice a little bit of heavy snow up there into parts of northeastern Montana. We just continue to watch this pattern even as we go Monday and into Tuesday. Now, the GFS model showed this little band of snow being a little bit further south, so we'll kind of see how that sets up. But as we go into the Tuesday time frame, Monday and into Tuesday of next week, looks like another quick shot of some maybe heavy coastal rain, and then inland mountain snow as well will pile on up there, especially over some parts of northern California there. So, but the good news is we do begin to see that clear on out towards the back half of next week as systems really begin to translate eastward. We're talking a lot of wind and snow out of the system, though, before that ever happens. And as you can see, just through our Sunday early morning, look at all the snowfall. Some elevations in the Sierras already picking up 3+ feet of snow. Even on there into parts of the mountains of Idaho and northwestern parts of Wyoming, you can see foot-plus totals getting going there. Just, again, through Sunday early morning. This is just kind of round one. Remember, into early next week, we're going to see that second one late Monday and into Tuesday and kind of playing it out. Here's your total snowfall all the way through the midweek time frame of next week. Anywhere from the Cascades to the Sierras, several feet of snow in the high elevations. Some some spots by the end of this event picking up maybe 7+ feet there in the Sierras, in the very highest peaks, about 4,000, 5,000 feet. And then into Idaho, northwestern Wyoming, even into Utah and the Rockies there, we are just talking extremely high snowfall rates and really increasing those snow levels across the mountains there. Now, while it's cool in the west, it is really warm eastward from there, especially over the central and Great Lakes region of the United States as we go into early next week. And the pockets of 20, 25, 30 degree above average anomalies, those are really going to help to support the potential for some storm systems, with that cold air kind of banking up against those warmer air masses that are going to be towards the east even as we go through the end of next week. This looks like it could really set up an active weather pattern over a lot of the lower 48 here. And as you can see, as we go towards our Saturday, these warmer than average temperatures are bringing 70s over a lot of the plains and southern United States. Look at those temperatures up there in the parts of Minnesota, northern Wisconsin as well, even northern parts of Iowa. We're going to be challenging those records up there on our Saturday afternoon, talking into the low 60s to mid 60s there, indicated by those yellow colors trying to surge that far north. Meanwhile, we're actually setting record-breaking cool highs over there into parts of Oregon and northern California, so that's really interesting to see, with that ridging in the east, troughing in the west. Look at this, you can see a little bit of a cold front boundary late Sunday there, and that's what's going to help to spark that slight chance for some showers and storms late Sunday and into Monday there over the upper Midwest. But this whole zone I'm boxing in right there, 70s to near 80 there in the southern part of that box, as we're going to see a lot of record highs, especially in Minnesota and Wisconsin into our Sunday. Into Monday, you can see with that cooler air boundary shifting a little bit further east, some parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin now down into the 40s and to near 50. Meanwhile, though, over into parts of Michigan, we're still close to 65, 70 degrees. Over into parts of New York as well, some record-breaking highs. And, even further south than that, we're still talking 70s and 80s. So the benefit of me showing maps like this is you can still see your city, your town on this map as I show other areas with the records. And you can see as we go even towards the midweek time from next week, it's still milder than it should be for this time of the year over a large chunk of the eastern quadrant of the U.S. And I just show you these graphics to really show you how warm it's going to be, with especially the south staying in the 70s for quite a while here with this pattern. Now, a low pressure system, again, kind of riding the northern end of this warm air, and that's going to help to spark off kind of our first little weather event as we go into early next week. So let's time that out using the GFS model. Again, you can see as we go late Sunday and into Monday, with that low moving on up there into parts of south central Canada, with that little bit of a boundary attached to it, could we see some quick feisty storms move through parts of Wisconsin and parts of the upper peninsula of Michigan? Not out of the question. Probably the severe risk very low with those at this point. You can see that system continues heading on off towards the north and east while weakening, but with all the energy exiting the west, we're going to have the ability for new surface lows and kind of a new cold front to develop by the time we go Monday night and into early Tuesday morning. Look at this little stretch of some showers and potentially some thunderstorms here. Now, again, there's a little bit of uncertainty with where the models exactly place this, but if I live anywhere from Wisconsin and Michigan all the way down to the Gulf Coast and along the lower Mississippi River Valley, I'm watching the Arklatex region as well. Late Monday night and into Tuesday, especially in this area, I'm circling the potential for some showers and storms. It looks pretty prominent there over that region. You can see the northern end of that system kind of breaking off, and then we see a little bit more of a low pressure system by midweek of next week over the southeast. And let's see what the European models and the ensembles there, so this is a collection of a bunch of different models kind of showing us how they agree. And you can really see as we go Tuesday early morning, there's that front stretching from Michigan all the way down to the Louisiana coastline, with showers and thunderstorms probably embedded along it because of how warm it is out ahead of it. And then there we go. You can see kind of the northern end of that front breaking off, and look where the precipitation picks up by the time we go in towards our Wednesday, looking like the heaviest rainfall of maybe, a half an inch in a 6-hour period there, coming over parts of Georgia, South Carolina, before working its way up the east coast and into southern New England. So pretty much in agreement with that GFS model scenario. So we're starting to get a little bit more of a overall hold, not a full agreement, but an overall hold on what we can expect into next week. And it looks like sometime mid to late week next week, right on the heels of that previous low, we could see another one moving into the central U.S. But that's a story for another time there. But using our One Nation Weather Severe Weather Scale, which goes from, of course, 0 and anywhere in the white there where I'm not expecting severe weather, all the way on up to 7, which is, your extreme outbreak scenario. Anywhere in these areas highlighted in the light green, that's where I've got a 1 of 7 on my scale. That means you need to be alert for the potential of some thunderstorms late Monday and into Monday night, early Tuesday morning as well. Not exactly sure the intensity of those storms, though, so just be on alert for risk upgrades as we go closer in time. But let's kind of take a look at the pattern as we go through March. Could we see cooler air shots? Well, it looks like as we go all the way through, say, March 7th, most of the cold air, if not all of it, is going to remain really locked on up there over into parts of the Mountain West, the Pacific Northwest as well, 15, 20 degrees below normal for this time of the year in a lot of cases. Now, to have ensembles about 240 hours out here as we go towards March 10th and 11th, showing a colder air pocket move into parts of the southeast U.S., that is worth watching because that is a collection of models agreeing, but you can see ridging moves back on up behind it. And the Climate Prediction Center is saying, overall, even though some cold shots might sneak through with an active pattern, as we go through pretty much the entire month of March, especially up there in the Great Lakes and Northeast, it is looking to be a well above average month in terms of temperatures. In fact, this could be record-breaking on multiple occasions throughout the month up there with those deep reds, those bright reds. You don't often see those bright red colors there on these kind of, these monthly temperature outlooks there. So that's strong confidence in above average temperatures in the west and southwest. That's where it's going to be the coolest in comparison to average. You can see our monthly precipitation outlook indicating they're into parts of the west looking really active through March, and then they're kind of with an El Nino typical pattern staying active in the south and southeast. Could that mean active with severe weather as well at times? Certainly so. So we really need to monitor the upcoming pattern closely. If you want to be with me through everything, whether it's, the next couple days, the next several weeks, the next several months, please hit the subscribe button for me here to get me towards that next subscriber goal, and check out that Weather Well Maps trial in the description. Like the video too. That's it for this one.
One Nation weather.